Hello, IGN. My name is Jose Otero, and I am here with Chris Toph Aldendorfer. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Really good to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we are here looking at Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS. And right off the bat, we are looking at the starting character roster you're going to get as soon as you pop in the game into your Nintendo 3DS. Look around, and you might notice Lucina's missing. Maybe some other characters that have been either announced or confirmed recently are missing.
Right.
Just for folks at home, we don't have permission to show you some of those characters, so this is the roster we're going to be working with for the duration of the stream.
And this is the starting roster of the game, right?
Yes, that's right.
We're not working with the the unlockables, some of the recently discovered characters.
That's right. Yep, absolutely. So let's jump into a free-for-all, and the guys are going to pick any character at the moment. So, Toph, you've had some experience with this fairly recently, I would say.
I have, yeah. No, I mean, so I came in this morning essentially, and I got to try the latest build. So I was at E3 and San Diego Comic-Con as well, where I got to try the game as it was kind of like earlier builds, and certain characters hadn't been in the game yet. In the Wii U version, for example, Sheik wasn't in it. Captain Falcon is a relative newcomer as well.
Absolutely.
So a lot of things have changed since then, and just playing the final version has just been a really remarkable experience, because even from what I experienced a few months ago, it actually just feels a lot crispier and just cleaner. And I'm really liking what I've experienced so far.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll have to agree. I mean, now that we're having a lot more time with it, we are definitely starting to notice, sort of just adapting to the controller. Like, I've been actually jumping between the XL and a regular 3DS. And I know one of the questions we keep getting is sort of which platform am I preferring it right now. Right now, I feel it does have an advantage on the XL.
Oh, yeah.
Of the size.
Dude, I mean, I think, the 3DS, the XL in general, I remember when my friend was telling me to get a 3DS for the first time, and he was telling me about the XL versus the normal one. He was like, well, it's bigger. And I was like, well, that's great. But, I mean, then I took a look at it, and it's not just bigger. I mean, I feel like it's just, the resolution looks nicer, the screen looks nicer, the controls feel, a little more intuitive, or not intuitive, but, easier to work around.
Yeah, sort of the spacing. You're not sort of scrunching your index fingers, especially if you have big hands, which I do. I mean, I'm a tall dude at 6'5".
Yeah.
So it definitely does feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and a game like Smash, where, you're having to respond to an opponent who could be, doing inputs really quickly, you're going to want, a nice non-cramped control scheme. And, for what it's worth, I think the 3DS version of the game, which, again, is the only one that's out right now, I think it's actually really... I played with it for like a short while, and I was thinking, okay, I've never played Smash in my handheld before. This is going to be weird, but from what I've experienced so far, it's actually really intuitive.
Yeah, I have to admit that one of the things that constantly you can't help but notice with fighting games is that the transition to portable always comes with some sort of compromise.
Some barriers.
Some barriers for sure, because you're working with a different amount of space. And I have to say that so far, at least with the time that I have spent, and that's only been for, probably a day or two this week.
Right.
That I am impressed by how much has translated pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, anyone who uses the C-Stick, someone who is sort of more familiar with that,
right,
would definitely say, like I'm missing that one input. But
sure.
The rest of your inputs feel right, and we're going to go into it later because we're going to be going through modes and customization. You actually customize controls and really switch it up to something that is a lot more comfortable for you, which is awesome, right?
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Level. Yeah, all right, so we're going to jump next into another free-for-all. Nice job, Captain Falcon.
Yeah, that's my dude.
That is your dude?
He was
a Fox player.
I am, no, but I feel like Captain Falcon is just such an iconic character in the Smash realm. Smash doesn't really have a main character, obviously, because, it's got this whole roster of characters from across Nintendo franchises. I mean, Smash is kind of like a medley of, all the different Nintendo titles, and like a celebration of like what Nintendo is. But
absolutely.
If you want to talk about like what people think when they think Smash Brothers, like your everyday like person who, has played Smash at whatever various levels, from like casual players to like competitive players alike, I think people think of Captain Falcon and like Falcon Punch, Falcon Kick are such like iconic, Smash moves.
Which
right?
is so interesting because when you think about Captain Falcon as a character before Smash Brothers, did he ever even get out of the car outside of a cutscene? He didn't. Like, so much personality got added through this game, in fact. And, it's definitely a testament to the team that works on this, that they're able to sort of think of the best attributes to fit these characters.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We're here right now at Gower Plain. You'll recognize the stage if you are familiar with the Xenoblade Chronicles, as it were, Wii game, which is also coming to new Nintendo 3DS, at least in Japan, when that launches on October 11th. And, of course, this is the dream match, right? Like, we are witnessing it now. When this was announced at E3, it was so amazing to sort of behold, right? Pac-Man,
Oh,
Sonic,
yeah.
Mario, and Mega
And
Man.
Mega Man, yeah. Who of these characters, I think, Mega Man, when he was announced, was one of the ones I was personally like the most hyped about. I was like, oh my goodness, like that's like one of the franchises as a kid that I played that I was like, oh my god, this game is amazing. So, and especially because Mega Man, he's in other fighting games too. Like he's been in Capcom games over the years, and he's got like such a crazy array of moves you could give him that it was just like really interesting to see Nintendo's take on the character and how they incorporate him into Smash.
Yeah, and he definitely fits really well into that universe. He's a character that feels right at home. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that is definitely, remarkable about Smash as a whole is how all of these characters manage to work, even though they come from so many different art styles
Right.
and styles of franchises. I mean, they're not even all platformers.
Well, look at
You know?
Pac-Man. I mean, no one thought, the game he's from is a two-dimensional game where he's in his most rudimentary state most of the time, and like for them to adapt that and give him like I see it, that looked like his down smash where he throws the ghosts out on either side, and he's got he's turning into. I think I haven't really gotten much of a chance to mess around with Pac-Man yet, but he looks like a really interesting and kind of fast character.
Absolutely, yeah. And his final smash is just such a callback.
Yeah.
To that classic '80s arcade game, where he just turns into a supersize and will eat everything on screen. And they
Right.
keep the little point meter, sort of the numbers that will multiply as you eat more and more of your opponents.
Right.
Yeah. So really, really cool stuff overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
oh no, go ahead, please.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, it's neat because like what we come to expect from a given character, like, I mean, so like for example, like Duck Hunt Dog isn't in the game or in this build of the game we have today,
Yeah,
but I mean, I
exactly.
think that's another example of a character where it's like no one saw that coming. I mean, if you've been following the hype for Smash 4 over the past couple days,
Absolutely.
people were like, okay, I didn't see that coming at all. Everyone, with like super polarizing reactions ranging from this is the best thing ever to like what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But I think like given like the fluidity of the game's engine, like Smash Brothers, you can take any kind of character pretty much and have so many different ways to like implement that character.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like the motivation. I mean, later on we're going into a little bit of the character customizations with how you can actually customize the movesets of the characters.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's new to Smash 4.
Yeah.
And I think that's also like a testament to like, I wonder how that started. I wonder if the folks at Nintendo were like, yo, we have so many interesting ideas of where we could go with these characters. Why not give the players a way to like pick and choose how they
Absolutely.
want to?
Yeah,
know?
no, for sure. Yeah, and the customization has always been a unique part of Smash Bros. As a whole, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even down a few seconds ago, you just saw we had the item customization screen where you have the ability to turn things on and off as a dial, right? Just flip
Right.
it off. You don't want to use that item. You feel it's a little overpowered, or it may change the sort of the balance of a match in a way that you just don't feel you want to use.
Oh,
or you
yeah.
don't want it to sort of interrupt how you're playing.
And I remember back in the day, or I mean even now, I really enjoy like my thing is Pokeballs only.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love I just love like Pokemon. So like to be able to do stuff like that because you want to make like a Pokemon battle.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So
you a big Pokemon fan?
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, we should talk.
I used to play competitive Pokemon on the internet and stuff. So I got into like EVs and IVs and all that kind of
Oh, wow.
all that good stuff.
Okay.
You
Oh man, there goes a Bullet Bill. So that item, man, wow, that thing can kill many in one stroke.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the thing about that's the thing I noticed from a competitive standpoint. The items in this game, like you can kill with items. You can KO with items at like much lower percents than than a lot of characters like normal moves would be able to otherwise.
Yeah.
Which kind of speaks to like if you were trying to if depending on how you want the game to play out, you can turn those items off if you choose to. So this is a teams match right now. So
Yeah.
red team versus blue team. I think it's interesting how they implemented, in previous games they would differentiate the teams by literally changing the color of your character. And this
Yes.
one they actually give you like an outline.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, and that's, of course, to help you sort of work with the smaller screen. I believe that, at least. And you can switch them off.
Yeah, I think
If you're
that's
someone who
smart.
wants to take it off. But, yeah, it's cool to see that the outlines also affect team play because it's not just the black outline or what have you.
Right.
No, definitely a smart design choice, which is, again, typical, I feel, of this team where they, Sakurai is just known for that meticulous detail and the kind of the games he works on. Definitely pay attention to that.
Yeah, I mean it's dope. I mean I work as I'm an engineer myself, and it's really interesting like looking at a gaming company like Nintendo and like them having to adapt to this new platform, i.e. making the first ever Smash Bros. Game for a handheld, and like the design decisions they had to make. Like, oh, okay, so they got over the smaller screen issue by using things like the colored outlines, and like there's just a lot of really smart decisions I feel like they made with the design of this game.
Yeah, and even within the series itself, I love seeing Corneria on the smaller screen, right? And it makes sense because Star Fox 64 3D exists, and sort of maybe that was their logic for why it belongs here, as well as we don't know if it's in the Wii U version. Presumably it is. Is that one based off the Namco game instead, Star Fox Assault? We've seen a screenshot of it, but we don't know for sure. So it's that fun little nod even to its own history that's really, really cool.
Right.
Yeah, so this is our last multiplayer match, and we're going to go for another free-for-all. This will be newcomers only. So
okay,
we're gonna,
so
check
we're going to see, like, I want to see some. Okay, so Robin was Robin Palutena. How do you pronounce that?
Palutena.
Palutena?
Yeah.
I think those are, like, two of the characters that I got to mess with a little this morning that are really interesting.
Okay. How so? Give me some of the
It's like Robin's whole deal is, he's got, like, the tomes with the neutral, or the special attacks, rather, and he's got his sword. And the tomes are exhaustible, right? So you don't have access to his special moves the entire time. But he's got like a really wide array of basically like what he can do.
Yep.
He feels, or I should say he or she, because you can play as either male or female Robin.
Very true.
It feels like one of these characters from a fighting game where like you have resources and you have to be cognizant of how you spend them. And that's kind of a cool aspect to me because like some of the other fighting games like I play on a more casual level. Like Blaze Blue and stuff, and I'm used to having to, manage my resources and things like that. So if you're a character that like likes to like have like this array of interesting tools at your disposal, Robin might be an interesting choice.
Well, and having a move like Nosferatu, which is going to damage an opponent and heal himself, and especially if he's behind you, I think the effect is sort of amplified a little bit.
It's got the moves
wild.
like that. It's got that whole like RPG element almost.
And here we go, the nod to Fire Emblem Awakening, our first Final Smash, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, and wow. He's
Okay.
picked up 2 KOs right there.
Yeah.
Nice job. So Shulk is another interesting character just because of the way you can kind of cycle through sort of his different abilities. Yeah, and his different styles, exactly, and how that affects his movement and sort of his jumping range, etc. That kind of stuff I can't wait to see when this game comes out on October 3rd. Just how people are going to, at least here in the West. It's out in Japan. Let me clear that, or clarify that statement.
No,
but
for sure.
It'll be fun to see how people sort of adapt his style and what's going to come out of that as a result,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, Greninja, too, is, like, I was playing with him a little bit, and Greninja feels like one of these characters that also, he feels really unique from a lot of characters that I've, kind of felt or played before in the Smash franchise. Just his whole, like, movement is very, like, vertical. Like, he's got such an easy time, like, going up and down and, like, with his, like, downer in the air, like, how he bounces as high as he does.
Yep.
He, like, in particular, like, I think is just a good example of, like, a character that moves really differently compared to a lot of the rest of the cast.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, I think that's what's dope is how you get to, like, pretty much based on what your style is or, like, how you want to, like, play the game, you can pick a character that, kind of caters to how you think about how you would want your character to move about the battlefield.
Okay.